Hi everyone. Welcome to this HDIN Research Strategic Briefing. Today, we are analyzing the rare earth reckoning. Our objective is to look beyond commodity price fluctuations to understand the structural shifts in value chain sovereignty, the strategic implications of recent regulatory frameworks, and the long-term roadmap for global OEMs as we move toward 2035. Let's begin with the current landscape. Rare earth elements have evolved from niche industrial inputs into the foundation of a $5 trillion global technology economy. While international efforts towards supply chain diversification are accelerating, the current reality remains one of significant concentration. China's integrated management of mining, refining, and magnet production represents a central pillar of the global energy transition. Recent policy updates from Beijing reflect a broader trend of aligning resource management with national economic and security standards. To understand value distribution, we must examine the migration from upstream to downstream. Value capture is relatively modest at the mining stage, but escalates significantly during separation and magnet manufacturing. At HDIN, we identify the separation stage as a critical technical threshold. The specialized chemical expertise required to isolate heavy rare earths at high purity levels is an area where China's long-term industrial focus has established a globally recognized standard for efficiency and scale. The upstream data confirms a high degree of resource concentration. China accounts for approximately 50% of global reserves and nearly 70% of current production. While projects like Mountain Pass in the U.S. are scaling up, and Myanmar remains a significant source of heavy rare earth feedstocks, the current geographic distribution creates a complex supply equilibrium that is highly sensitive to regulatory and administrative adjustments. A key challenge for the industry is that while mining sources are diversifying, refining capacity remains less flexible. Establishing a greenfield refinery outside of existing industrial hubs typically requires 6 to 10 years. Between the complexities of environmental permitting and the high capital intensity, often exceeding $1 billion, new market entrants face a significant lead time disadvantage in matching established processing nodes. Turning to recent developments, we have observed a series of targeted licensing and regulatory requirements since 2023. A notable shift occurred in late 2025 with the implementation of expanded oversight on products and technologies. These measures reflect a strategic move toward enhanced supply chain transparency and end-user verification, presenting a new compliance landscape for global aerospace and defense contractors who rely on these specialized materials. Market volatility serves as a primary indicator of supply chain friction. Following the 2025 regulatory updates concerning heavy rare earths like dysprosium, the market experienced significant price adjustments. For high-volume manufacturers, such volatility necessitates a shift in procurement strategy. We are seeing the emergence of a security premium, where some end users are opting for non-traditional supply routes at higher costs to ensure long-term stability. This slide illustrates HDIN's core risk modeling using an N1 scenario analysis. We examine the impact of a significant reduction in supply from the primary global provider. Even under optimistic projections for 2035, non-traditional supply sources are currently estimated to cover only 40% of global magnet demand. The data suggests that for the foreseeable future, the global net zero transition will require continued integration with established supply hubs. This brings us to the central strategic question. In an environment where the incumbent leader maintains a decade-long advantage in cost and technology, how can global OEMs build resilient, autonomous supply chains? Furthermore, can innovation bridge this gap effectively before the mid-century climate targets? The response is the emergence of a multi-hub supply model. We are tracking a diversified loop taking shape across North America, Australia, and Europe. By 2030, our forecast indicates these regions could account for 35% of refined supply. The strategic objective for many nations is not total isolation, but rather strategic autonomy, ensuring sufficient domestic capacity to support essential infrastructure. Innovation remains a critical tool for risk mitigation. Grain boundary diffusion, GBD technology, is significantly reducing the consumption of heavy rare earths in high-performance magnets. Concurrently, rare earth recycling is evolving into a major industrial feedstock. HDIN expects the recycling sector to grow significantly, providing a circular buffer that complements primary mining production. In the United States, policy has shifted toward supporting domestic offtake and industrial scaling. The 10X initiative aims to increase magnet production capacity tenfold, By combining government procurement support with long-term contracts from private sector leaders in tech and automotive, a more stable financial foundation is being laid for higher-cost domestic processing. Looking toward the next decade, we anticipate 3 phases of evolution. We are currently in the integration phase. By 2027, we expect an acceleration phase, characterized by greater supply diversity. By 2035, the market is likely to reach a state of maturity, where recycled materials and primary mining from multiple global regions create a more balanced and resilient ecosystem. For investors and OEMs, the opportunity lies in supply chain transparency. There is a growing market for verified sustainable rare earths, companies that can provide a clear audit trail for their material sources, leveraging digital passports and modular refining, are likely to command a premium in an increasingly ESG-conscious global market. We must maintain a realistic outlook on the structural barriers ahead. Beyond cost disparities, the "permitting gap" remains a significant hurdle in the West. Bridging the time difference between project conception and production is essential for those seeking to challenge the current market structure. HDIN's recommendations focus on vertical integration. For industrial players, the goal should be moving from oxide sales to magnet manufacturing to capture higher value. For policymakers, implementing mechanisms like contracts for difference can provide the price stability necessary for domestic industries to mature alongside established global competitors. Thank you for your time today. Navigating the rare earth market requires a balance of data-driven insight and strategic foresight. For further details, including our comprehensive deep dive report or customized strategic advisory, please contact us at sales@hdinresearch.com. We look forward to supporting your strategic planning.